Alright, so today's video is going to be on replacing the wiper, so windshield wiper motor on a 2009 Grand Marquis. Here I've got a new one from Cardone. Here's a part number 852074 for a new wiper motor. You might see like a 4027.4, that's a reman. I went ahead and got a new one from Amazon. Just a quick tip real quick. I know mine are bad because whenever I start the car, my wipers just start going crazy. Like without touching anything, they just start going back and forth full blast. And so I know something's wrong with my wiper motor. What I did to stop it from doing that is I went here to my fuse box underneath the hood and I removed the fuse for the wiper motor. It's this 30 amp fuse right here. It goes right here. I'm going to put it back because I'm going to need it later. But if yours is going crazy and you can't stop it, just know that you can pull this fuse to get it to stop. Alright, so let's get started. It's not too hard. Just going to have to remove this black, well, I guess first remove your wiper arms. Then we have to remove this black panel here. And then we'll be able to clean out. I mean, the reason this wiper motor fails is because underneath here there's a drain and it clogs up with junk, leaves and twigs and stuff, and it doesn't allow all the water to come down and drain out, and then it floods and fails the motor because it gets wet. So we'll take this black piece off, clean it out, make sure that the drain is clean, and then this part here underneath the black part, we're going to take that out, and on the bottom of that is where the wiper motor is. So we'll start with the two wiper arms. Okay, so step one was really difficult for me. I couldn't get these wipers off. I don't know if mine are just installed too low or something, but you can see they usually sit where this dirt line is on both sides. So I actually had to go in my car, turn on ignition and run the wipers so they would go up. Before they came all the way back down to the bottom line here, I hurried up and turned the key off, so they stopped a little bit high. Because I couldn't get to what I needed to do. You have to pull the wipers up like that in order to take them off. And with the wipers all the way down there, I couldn't get to them. So if you have that problem too, just run your wipers on their way down. Just hurry up and turn off the key and stop them a little bit high, and then you should be able to pull the wipers up so you can take them off. So now that I got them up, what you want to do is grab them onto them and pull them up, and then you got to reach down inside of there and pull a little tab up. I'll show you in a second. Okay, I've got this light so you can kind of hopefully see what I'm doing, but just pick up on the arm and then get your pliers and grab onto this little metal tab. Pull that up, and then the wiper should just pull off like that. So here's the little metal tab I was talking about. Right here. You just got to pull up on your pliers. I grabbed it right here and pulled up. But you can see that the wiper arm has to be extended up to pull that out. And there's a little metal key right here. Make sure you don't lose that. So let's do the other one next. So once you got the wiper arms off, next thing you want to do is take off this black plastic cowl piece, and it's just held in with a bunch of little screws. So there's one here, there's one right here, one right here. They're kind of all over the place. So I'm gonna go find them all, take them all out. I think there's also there's a little plastic cap right here that I have to pry off. I think there's a screw underneath there too. So I'm gonna go through and try to get all those little screws out, and then take off that black plastic cap next. So that panel came off. You can see I needed to use a little pry tool here in the corners to take off little plastic clips. It also had some metal clips along the front here. You could use a little screwdriver to pry those off. Again, try not to break anything. Just be careful when you pry off those metal clips along the front lip. One of mine shot off and went somewhere in the engine compartment. I can't find it. But now you can see underneath this black plastic cowl piece we just took off. And be careful because there's a hose that runs to your windshield washer fluid, so be careful with that hose. But underneath you can see all the leaves and junk that's piled up in here. The wiper motor is under this panel right here, so you can see it's just full of leaves and junk. So that's probably what killed our wiper motor, was just this filling up and holding damp moistness and destroying the panel. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to vacuum up all these leaves and clean it up, and then we're going to take off this panel next. So as you can see, there's a bunch of nasty junk in there. So I sucked up what I could, then I hit it with a blower to clean out the rest of it. And so now we want to take out this black panel because the wiper motor is attached to the back of it. And so you can see there's a variety of 8mm bolts. So one here, 2, 3, 4, probably a couple more over there. So that might be it, 4, I don't know. Maybe 5 went down in there. So I'm using my 8mm ratchet and a socket, take all those out, and then we'll be able to get to the motor underneath. Okay, so that was 6 bolts, these bright kind of silver gray ones. I had to take them out to get this panel off. You don't have to take off these bolts, these kind of rusty brown ones, because those actually keep the motor on the back. So just the bright silver ones. So there's 3 here, 1, 2 there, and 1 down there, 3. And then the other thing I did was I had to get, I don't know what this is over here, but there's this little thing that was stuck on this bracket here, and so you just have to pry this back to get this tab out of this hole, and then just slowly work this off. This is, I'm sure, very brittle plastic, so you can see it took me a couple of minutes, but just slowly kind of work that off with this metal tab, and that comes off, and then you can flip this over and like so, and here is our wiper motor that we are replacing. So you should just be able to, let me see. Okay, so to get the motor off, there's 3 screws, these brown ones. So it's 1, 2, and the third one is behind this arm. You can barely see it, or there are 3. And then that disconnects the motor, and then you just have to unplug it. So let me get these 3 screws off, and then we'll unplug the motor and swap it out. Okay, so to get to those screws, I think these arms are in the way, because if you remember when I took my wiper arms off, I had to, stop the car before the wipers are all the way down. So what I'm going to do is make sure my wipers are off on the switch inside, turn the power on to the car so that these arms go back to the full stop setting, and then I think I'll be able to access those screws. Okay, yeah, now I can get to those screws. Actually, before you take off the motor, you probably want to pry this arm off. Forgot to do that. So this wiper arm needs to come off of the motor somehow. I think it just pops off. I'll try with a screwdriver or something. Again, I think easier to do that when the motor is still screwed in. So do that first, and then undo the 3 screws for the motor. Okay, so I was able to pry that off. Then to get this electrical clip off, there's this little brown switch here. Basically just have to pull that switch back, and then you can just wiggle off this electrical connection, then the motor comes off. So I am fairly confused now. This is the old motor that came off the car. This is a new one. If you can tell, the arms are in totally different positions. So the old one that just came off, the arms going this way. The new one, the arms coming this way. And so I don't really know why. And also tell that the connections are different. So I'm thinking I'm gonna have to take off these 3 screws here to take off this mounting bracket, because this mounting bracket isn't gonna fit my gray Marquis. So I'm gonna swap out, take off these 3 screws and swap out those mounting brackets. And I might have to swap out these arms also, because if you can tell, this has kind of a big fat greased ball, and this has a little pointy piece here, so I'm not sure I can use that either. So let me do a little bit of research to see what I'm doing about these arms. Okay, so I plugged in the new motor. It works. I was hoping that it would maybe just reset and point in the same direction as the old motor, but it doesn't. This is just loose motor, not installed or anything. It's just kind of sitting there plugged in. But it does look like it just goes around in a circle whenever it operates. So now what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to unscrew this bolt and this one. I'm going to take this arm off, and I'm going to see if I can take this arm and put it on this one in the same orientation as the old one. And hopefully that solves my problem. I don't know. We'll see. Alright, y'all, I was fighting to get this arm off of the old one, and finally what I just ended up doing, I was scared to hurt it or break it, but you just got to be rough with it. Finally what I ended up doing is getting a hammer and just beating the crap out of it right here. Boom, 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 and finally hit it hard enough and it popped off. So I got this little arm off, which is good, because it needs to go on the new one. I already took the one off the old one. And now I can take off these 3 screws on the old one and the new one, swap these plates over, put the old arm on the new one, and then I can put everything back together. Okay, so now try to get this in the same position that it came off of, which was about like that, I think. I took a picture, so I'll show it here in a second. So just try to get it close to that, and then put the new nut back on, and tighten that up, and then we'll start putting the motor back in. Don't forget, if you come across some more junk, to clean it out. So I just found this whole area. Oh my God, this is full of dirt. Look at that. I think that's the drain. That's actually the drain where all the stuff's supposed to come out. Because this is upside down right now. And so that's why it all filled up full of water, because that drain, usually that points down, it's upside down. That's where all the water's supposed to come out, but it's full of junk. So clean that out before you put it all back together. Make sure you pop the arm back on this thing right here. I don't know, you're supposed to get that back on. Okay, I scooched this black panel back close to where it's supposed to be, so the bolt holes are lined up, so it's kind of supported. And I'm just gonna, I guess, push on this, try to get it to clip on. Remember, I had to pry it off. I don't really know how to pry it on to get it back on. If I can hammer it on, maybe? Not really. Can't reach it. I don't know. Let me look it up. Okay, so there's 3 clips right here on the front of this panel. 1, 2, 3. You can pry those up, take this off, so I can get better access to this. What I'm gonna do is just get a pair of pliers or something. I'm gonna go channel locks. These guys. Try to squeeze this back on. See if that works. There it goes. So I couldn't do that with my hands, but get a pair of channel locks and that'll squeeze back on. And I also see a little bit more dirt that I'm gonna suck out before I put this all back together. All right, moment of truth. See if it works. Looks like it works. Cool. Alright, hope this was helpful. As always, if you got any questions, post it in the comments and I'm pretty good at answering them. Yeah, thanks for watching.